You are now listening to MrGentleman Like That Podcast presents the Old School Show Season 1. Chill!
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, and y'all already know this is the Old School Show, and this is the first episode, and I'm gonna introduce y'all to my co-host for the Old School Show. He is a part of the Premier Boy podcast. He was on 2 episodes this season, and now now y'all will see him every 4th Sunday on the Old School Show. We got my bro DJ Retro on the show. DJ Retro, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Old School Show, where we talk everything old school.
Yes,
I'm here and I'm proud.
Yes, you already know. But the first episode we have our special guest, and this brother right here, y'all. He a part of the Premier Boy podcast. He do the rest of the prediction. Y'all already know who it is. Mr. Aaron Sands is back.
You already know what it is. It's Mr. Aaron Sands. We out here. Usually you catch me on the Premier Boys podcast Fridays at midnight on all the streaming platforms. But here's a different kind of mood. We're going to keep it a little buttoned up for the MrGentleman Lifestyle podcast. And we're going to talk about some old school shows today.
Yes. Welcome both of y'all, the co-hosts of the Old School Show and Mr. Aaron Sands. We already know this first episode. We can talk about black sitcoms, man. Growing up, the sitcoms mean a lot to all of us, but the black sitcoms mean a lot to us because we grew up on these shows. So before we start diving into each era, do y'all know what was the first black sitcom? Do y'all know?
I would say like Good Times, maybe. That was usually like that's the first black sitcom, that I saw. I think it's like the oldest, so that might be fun.
And what about you, Retro?
Would it be Sanford and Son?
I ain't gonna front. I thought both of those too, but both of them wasn't. It was a show called Amble and Andy, and I did my research. I look at myself like, yo, what was the first sitcom? I thought it was as Jefferson's. I thought it was Jefferson's, but I look it up. It was the show called Amble and Andy. I'm like, whoa. So apparently, this show, it wasn't no black actor. It was a white guy portraying a black face, and they were doing
wow.
And they were doing it for many seasons, but then later they changed it to actual black actors, and yeah. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We were going to play ourselves at one point.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. And
I mean, how do they? I mean, and back in the day, I heard that was like a big thing for people to paint themselves as blackface and portray us. But even up to now, I just can't get with it, man.
That's crazy. And it's crazy because how can you blackface? You don't know how he actually is. Y'all just assuming that how we are, but I'm glad those days is long and gone. Now we got a lot of amazing black actors and actresses portraying on these black sitcoms and black roles, period. But we all know we're gonna dive into the black sitcoms or the legendary sitcoms and why it's changed today. Why we only got black sitcoms today, like Black-ish and the Tyler Perry shows, but let's go back. Let's rewind, and let's start with the 70s. This guy, man, named Norman. Give me the name wrong. Give me the way saying Norman.
For Norman Lear.
Norman Lear, thank you. Norman Lear, he created a lot of shows. He played All the Family, but he created also a lot of black sitcoms. He created The Good Times, The Jeffersons, and Sanford and Sons. 3 of those are the amazing shows. So let's talk about it. Let's start with the Jeffersons. Let's talk about the Jeffersons.
Moving on up.
And I'm moving on up.
Well, if you're talking about the Jeffersons, you got to think about us as a people. That's like our first foray into black excellence,
Facts.
Jefferson, him owning the laundromat out in Manhattan. You know, for us in the 70s, that was like a far stretch for us, you know, and for the most part, you know. So when you see that on our screens that night, especially I think it was on NBC if I'm not mistaken.
I think either NBC or CBS. It was one of them. I just don't remember which one it was.
But when you see that, you know, it definitely gave us a glimmer of hope at the least, you know. And fun fact, like you could see, like, you know, it's like a stark contrast to All in the Family, which was a spin-off show for
it. Yeah, definitely. And I ain't gonna lie, for a very long time, I didn't know that until a couple years ago. I was like, oh, so that was? I didn't know it was like a spin-off of All in the Family. And that's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Continue, son. Continue.
But when it comes down to the Jeffersons, like you see that dynamic that you try to build. Like when now instead of us being like the working man, we're the boss, you know.
Exactly.
And it shows us like how you know, even though it's funny, it shows how outlandish it could be, you know. And the fact of us, you know, being able to move in those circles as a black man, as a successful black business owner in the 70s.
Fact. It's crazy how Jefferson was before his time when it came to that. That's crazy. And and one thing about the Jefferson, you know, Sharon Hensley, man, that dude is an amazing actor. I remember this one story where he was on set one time, and they say that he was a very shy guy. Very shy.
Oh wow!
But when he got on that role, he transformed into a completely different person that made George Jefferson who he is today. Like, that was just, I heard that, like, wow, this is crazy.
And you
like,
know something too?
Yeah.
Like, basically after George Jefferson, he basically kept getting guest appearance roles as George Jefferson for most of his TV appearances in the rest of his years. Like, it was definitely his highlight role, even though he did other stuff. But yeah.
I know he was on. I think he brought George Jefferson and Martin. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I know Fresh Prince. He did a different role, Fresh Prince, but he was on Fresh Prince. It was I forgot which show it was. He was George Jefferson. He played George Jefferson. Reezy was on the show. I forgot what show that was.
What's the
Did
first
they do an appearance on Wayans Brothers?
When they tried to buy Philip Banks' house.
So it was Fresh Prince. Nah, but it was another show though. He was George Jefferson. And Reezy came back as well. And they was on Dating Therapy, but I can't remember. I'm not sure what show that was. I think it was Martin, but I'm not sure.
Or was it Wayans Brothers?
Or was it? I don't know. It
was Wayans Brothers, honestly.
Wayans Brothers do stuff like that.
Probably was Wayans. I didn't know that. I know George Jefferson and Weezy was there, and it was like a dating. It was like a Dating Therapy type of episode. So it could have been that. It could have been both of them was on the show. You know, Weezy. I believe Weezy died in the 90s, I believe. I think 90s, early 2000, and George died like a couple of years later. But yeah. And also, I got a fun fact. Do y'all know that they did a live version of The Jeffersons recently?
Yeah. I think that.
Yeah, they had Jamie Foxx play as George Jefferson, and while the site played at Reezy, and all I'm going to say is Jamie Foxx killed that role at George Jefferson. I was like, yo, he had every movement, he had a voice, he had everything down packed with George Jefferson. I was shocked, son.
Well, shout out to the legend Jamie Foxx for one. I mean, you gotta think about it like this, right? You already know he's like amazing at impressions. So doing George Jefferson wouldn't be that far of a stretch for him.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I
can definitely see him killing that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, Jamie Foxx is one of my favorite actors. But we're gonna talk about Jamie Foxx later. But when he did that role, like, oh wow, pretty much Jamie Foxx was already dope with impressions anyway. But it's like only watching Jamie Foxx, I saw George Hensley, and like when Jamie Foxx was doing that role, I was like, wow. And let's just say he did George Hensley proud. That's all I'm saying.
He's definitely smiling in his in the afterlife right now.
Yeah, I agree. So so Norman had some other shows. He had Good Times and just in Sanford and Son as well. So let's talk about the Good Times. Let's talk Good Times, man. Good Times. Yeah, Good Times.
When it comes Good Times, right? I already told you in the I think the first episode of Premier Boys podcast you can check out on all streaming platforms. But you spoke about a top 10 sitcom, and I definitely played a Good Time. I think in the top 5 because I can relate. Related to that. We grew up in the projects and everything. So for me, when I seen that, I was like, "Yo, I get where they were coming from. Where they had no water and the elevator broke." Because at one point, that's where I was. I had to boil water in the morning, and I had to walk up 10 flights of stairs to my house. So, when I saw that, I'm like, I get it. I can respect the struggle on that, Excuse me. But now, you get towards the end, they also spoke, when you look past the struggle, they also spoke on really positive Black issues that were going on in the 70s, too.
Yeah.
And I feel like that played a pivotal role in how we were viewed as well.
I know. For me, Good Times was a good show. I like the Good Times. Even though I don't know, it's just me. When it got to the later season, I enjoyed the later season more than the earlier seasons. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Even though John Amos, he was my guy. He was a guy, strict father. A father that this generation definitely needs. If I had to say, he a father that this generation needs. But I don't know. I enjoyed the later season a lot better, especially when they introduced Jenna into Good Times.
Yeah, I mean, when you expand the cast like that, I mean, granted, you could tell when it got a little forced towards the end of the series. But when you expand the cast, it kind of made the show that much better. So, like, even though it seemed forced towards the end, it was still a great show.
I loved the Good Times, and even now, if it's on, I watch it. There was a lot of controversy because they ain't like JJ being the star.
Oh yeah.
And it was a little different. Unlike you, I enjoyed the earlier seasons because it was all of them before they killed off the father. And then when they had Janet Jackson, they brought in a little bit more flavor.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
That was okay. Yeah. And then of course at the end with the mother not being there, it just felt off to me.
Yeah, I guess like you said, like you mentioned that JJ was the star, John Amos didn't like that. He wanted out his contract. I think that when they killed him off because behind that. Because I remember hearing something like that, and my father was a big fan of these 70s shows. He always been telling me stories about them. So like, I know John Amos didn't like the fact about that, and he wanted off the show, and they killed him off. I don't know why the mother. Yeah, continue about.
They made him look silly, When during a time where, especially like in the 70s, kind of like how it is now, but probably worse because they didn't have social media or any type of reach out like that. You're in a time like that, where we're trying to be about Black power, Black unity, and you have a guy that's on TV on damn near every week, being kind of like foolish, being like the clown, Yeah. And when you got real issues going on, you like the whole clown, the comedy relief part, but you also want to get down into these issues too. Get something that the people relate to. So I could understand. I heard when John Amos left, and then later on, Florida.
Yeah,
they left mainly because of the fact that they was trying to make him a star because he was being like like a buffoon.
Yeah, like for example, Fanny Matters with Steve. we're gonna talk about that a little later, though. I don't mind me saying that. I'm gonna talk about it a little later, but yeah, that's true though. Yeah, that's true though. But I want to say one thing. Just like the Jefferson, they did try to do over Good Times Live, and it wasn't up the part like how the Jefferson was. The captain was kind of off for me. Jay Farrow, he always kill it, but one thing. Shout out to this beautiful lady, Corinne Fox. She's a very beautiful lady, beautiful girl. Just thought I shot y'all on this podcast, but when she played, they gave her the role as Thelma, but she didn't fit Thelma at all.
So wait, hold on. So you're gonna say, right? It sounds like you're gonna shoot your shot at this beautiful woman, right? And then dog her portrayal of Thelma. Are we doing that today?
I mean, I just want to give her a little knowledge, but I just felt I didn't feel her. I didn't feel she fit the role. I didn't think she was a bad actress. She didn't do bad at the role. I just feel like she didn't fit that particular character. Let's just say that. Let me rephrase it. She didn't fit that character. There you go.
Well, I will say that is fair. That's a fair assessment, because when I saw the Good Times live show, and it was okay. It was nothing to write home about, but it was alright.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. Viola Davis was Florida. The dude for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I forgot his name. He was James. Michael was the dude from This Is Us, and also When You See Me. They also had the other dude for This Is When You See Me as well on the live version. But it just wasn't. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it how I was feeling Jefferson's. Like I believe the cast they picked for Jefferson. I believe that cast. I didn't believe the Good Time cast at all. It didn't feel like Good Times to me.
It felt like the last season of Good Times forced.
Yeah, I mean, only person that missed it was the football player. That was the case.
I don't think that was the episode they were aiming for, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but also just like I forgot to mention before the Jefferson, Maria Gibbs was refer her role as the maid on Jefferson's, and John Amos was in the Good Time version too, live version as well.
I believe so. Yeah, Marla Gibbs.
My bad.
Hours now while you can, because getting older and everything, and 2020 is being a vicious bitch. But her career, a lot of people don't understand, her career spanned over the past 50 years. So when you're talking about Marla Gibbs, you're not just talking about Marla Gibbs in the Jeffersons or maybe a couple spots on Good Times. You're talking about her from 227 to maybe like the second season of Blackish. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, she was. Oh right, she was. Yeah, she was on Blackish. Right.
And in many different roles in between. So you gotta understand, like, that's a long, lengthy career. Not a lot of people can have that longevity and then still be great.
Yeah.
So that's something to really sit down and consider.
Yeah. And in the last show, we're going to mention from the 70s that Norman made was Sanford and Sons. How y'all feel about Sanford and Sons?
Wasn't a fan. I get the importance I get the importance of it as in terms of the but as far as like my personal preference, wasn't really a fan. But I get the importance of it, though.
I know for me, the Jeffersons. I mean, the Sanford and Sons. I wasn't too much of a fan of Sanford and Sons either. But shockingly enough, during the pandemic, I was watching it a lot. I mean, don't get one of the funny shows. Red Fox has always been funny to me. But it wasn't my favorite out of three.
Yeah, if anything, that would have been Good Times, Jefferson's, Sanford and Son. That would be the order. That'd be the pecking order for the Norman Lear shows. At least the ones that resonate to me. All in the Family don't count in my life.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, Sanford and Son wasn't really a big hit for me either. No, I tried to catch a couple of episodes, but it just wasn't hitting for me. It's not up there as one of the shows for me.
Alright. So now, we're gonna dive into the 80s. We have a lot of amazing shows in the 80s. We got this one particular show, which I believe is one of Roddy's favorite shows, Different Strokes. I can't remember the song, but yeah, Different Strokes. Different Strokes. Okay.
So Different Strokes. It was a little like, I hate to use the word different here. I don't want to seem, but it was a different type of vibe. You have two kids, being adopted by a white family, by a rich white family at that in Harlem, 1980s. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, hold on. Sorry to cut you off real quick, but I've watched that show so many times, but I did not know it was in Harlem.
Well, here it is though. The boys, they were from Harlem.
Oh, okay.
And then they were like right in the Upper East Side. I could have sworn that that Philip Drummond and George Jefferson were neighbors. It would make perfect.
Wow.
It will make perfect sense. Huh? When you're talking about the plot, though, it's crazy because the show was great on and behind the scenes. Because a lot of people even know or might have forgot. I'm pretty sure out of the cast, about 60% of them were high on set. Yeah, 60% of them were high on set because here it is. You had you gotta think about like this. It's the 80s,
Yeah.
So it's like drugs is like sex. Everybody's doing it,
Oh, you're true. Yeah, that
right? Nah, but it is what it is. It was easily accessible. If you're a star, it's even easily accessible. So you ever noticed? I think maybe by the end of season 4, the daughter, who was played by Dana Plato, she left the show. And she left the show because she had to go to rehab or whatever because she was showing up to the set lit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Later on in the series, Todd Bridges left the show for this thing because he was on the show. And they were portrayed with this white kid by the name of Danny Cooksley. He also played
I remember that.
So where they kidnapped him and they're like, yo, if you try to tell anybody or you try to call the police, I'm going to kill your parents.
I remember that episode, actually.
When I first saw that episode, I'm like, oh, shit. Deadass about to kill his parents. And the way he said, I kind of believe him. Like, they shouldn't call the cops, If you just sit your ass down somewhere, enjoy this porridge, and shut the fuck up, But, shit like that was believable for me. That made it a great show. It sucked that everybody was high doing the shit, but it's the 80s. What you do?
I know about Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges, we know about that, but we know like later in the years he cleaned up and he ended up on Everybody Hate Chris. We're gonna mention that a little later. But
and he goes to ICDC college.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. But I know.
But yeah, Different Strokes was definitely okay show. I enjoyed it. They showing these two boys that were adopted. Had Mr. Drummond. They had a lot of lessons because you in the neighborhood and you get looked on because you're two black boys going into the store and stuff. It's just it was a good show, and I like shows that shows deep lessons because you're not just laughing at the show and what they do, you're laughing at what they go through, and it could be relatable.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I feel about Different Strokes.
For me, I always enjoyed Different Strokes, man. That always been a show that growing up, always been good. Gary Coleman, man, rest in peace, Gary Coleman, man. I like that show. I always like the Different Strokes, man.
If you're doing good, rest in peace, you also got rest in peace to the daughter, Dana Plato, and rest in peace to the father who played Philip Drummer. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Premier Boys podcast, which comes on Friday at noon on all streaming platforms.
Good. Nice plug. All right, so the next show we're going to talk about is probably one of the biggest family show in the 80s, The Cosby Show. How y'all feel about The Cosby Show?
Rod, you want to take this one?
Yeah, man. The Cosby Show was great. Like, basically, everybody who you see on TV these days, they got their start in The Cosby Show. It was great. Like, he just basically, you just have the all-American family. You have you have Cliff, you have his wife, and you have the kids. It was a very positive family, and they were in Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah, Brooklyn Heights, yeah.
So,
by the way, sorry to cut you off, Roddy. Fortune of Swagitude. Continue.
Oh,
Continue.
Brooklyn Heights, Fort Greene, Farragut Projects. You already know what it is.
Facts.
Damn, yo. I shout out on my terms. Wow. Yeah, like I was saying. Yeah. So I love Cosby Show. It's actually a great show. It's a show that you could look up to. Everybody, wanted to admire the Cosby family. Everybody admired. Everybody wants, with the guest appearances and everything. So many people that we seen over the years, they got their start, and that some people even on TV now, you see them like, oh wow, they were kids on the show. So it did a good thing, even though he's going through his stuff now and he's in jail and stuff. You got to give props to Cosby for what he did on the show.
Yeah, I agree. And everybody know. I've always been a big fan of the Cosby Show, man. I watched that growing up, even until now, and I always enjoyed it. Like Roddy said, a lot of people got their start. Just to name a few, Alicia Keys on the Cosby Show. Do y'all remember that?
I seen the video that they passed around with her.
Yeah.
What happened? Robert Sands?
I thought that was like a trivia question.
kind of, sort of, not really, but I mean, I enjoyed the Cosby Show, and like I said, that's one TV family that everybody in real life want to admire as that family as a whole, and a lot of TV shows like a lot of fathers, successful fathers, Kyle, what's his name? Kyle Michaels from the Right Wife and Kids, Ray Campbell, and Blackish. I forgot the character name. Anthony Anderson character name on Blackish. Dre. Owen admired what Cliff did. So yeah.
Now see, that's a stretch too. I will say that, because here it is with Dre, right? He tries to portray like the Cosby father when they're really more good times than Cosby.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. No, Dre, no, you're right. But
Philip Banks, you're forgetting.
Philip Banks definitely, yeah. But now you're right, though, about Dre. I get in a sort of set with Dre. He kind of mixed. I can see he is mixed with the struggle, but he also successful as well. I guess it's mixed with him. Kind of mixed with him.
Here's my thing with the Cosby Show. I'm gonna try to do this right without mentioning the trash bag, and I'm gonna reference that because he's kind of persona non grata in my verbiage. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Say that trash bag for the Premier Boy podcast.
I forgot. I gotta be stuffy on the Gentleman Lifestyle podcast. Oh, I'm sorry. Buttoned up in my bad. So yeah, I mean, as far as the show, I would honestly say like the Cosby Show kind of portrayed like the pinnacle of black excellence. When it comes down to the family dynamic, you got the doctor father, the lawyer mother, kids in school, they're staying at school, they're not doing drugs. If they come across drugs, it's probably their friends, but it's not them, no, So it always showed them in that high light,
Yeah.
shout out to the spinoff that was A Different World that actually became its own embodiment of like college life, you know.
It did, yeah, it did.
And to play off Roddy's point, he's right. Like, you know, when you have these shows, you know, when Cosby was out here, you know, you can say what we want about the guy, you know, but you can't take away the fact that he did give, you know, a lot of the people that you see now at least a shot to, you know, do what they gonna do, you know. And then from there, some careers flourished, others was Fun fact, by the way, Adam Sandler and Colfer Martin was both on the same episode.
I know.
I didn't know Adam Sandler.
I forgot about Adam Sandler. I did. Well, no cockroach. You know about cockroach. Everybody know cockroach, man. But I remember Cole got fired. I forgot he got fired though. He got fired for the show. I just can't remember why. I think he got high on set. Actually,
yo, what he got high on? Like,
yeah, I think that was the reason. I think because he got fired because he got high on set. I believe that's the reason. Quote me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the reason why he got fired for the Cosby.
Damn. And
then they replaced him with the dude from on King and Queen. I forgot the dude's name. But then you know Rondell already started the fire, so I'm about to finish it off. A Different World. I think that's an amazing show. Even though the first season was when it was about Denise and then her white friend going to a black school. First season was weird, but when they started the second season and beyond, we were centered about Jasmine Guy character and Kareem character. That when it started like picking up, and also when Debbie Allen took over the show as well.
That was crazy. I was like, I ain't gonna hold you. I was never really an OD big fan of Different World, but like Sanford and Son, I understood what it did for the black community. You know, especially when you're talking about college life and, you know, the things that go on, like with drugs, rape situations, things of that nature, you know? I know. Y'all gonna get mad at me at the following, but I felt School Days was better than half of the seasons on Different Worlds.
I'm not even gonna disagree with you on that, because when I was younger, I wasn't big on Different World either, so... It wasn't until I got older when I started watching it re-over and I started understanding it more and whatever about the society now. And when I started understanding it as I got older, I started appreciating the show more as I got older.
Here's the thing about our age range, right? These shows came out when we were like really small. So now with the Netflix bringing back all these shows back and we be watching it, we're just seeing it in a different light because we're older now. We understand more life. But when they were actually on the air, we were kids, you know.
I was just born when Different World came out. I was literally just born when Different World came out. So, and it ended in '92 when I was like probably like I guess 5 or 6 maybe.
I didn't even catch A Different World until they brought it to Netflix.
Oh wow! But
and that was only a few years ago.
But since it's still kind of related, fun fact: do y'all know Debbie Allen and Rasheed? What's her name? That beautiful woman name? I can't remember her name. Claire Huxtable. Yeah. They give her
Felicia.
Felicia Rashad. Yeah, Felicia Rashad. You know they sisters. Debbie Allen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're sisters.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too.
Like, you know, you can't have two like beautiful women like that that's both in the same type of field like that. You can't say they're not related in some
exactly. And one thing I would say, yo, Felicia Rashad is one of my favorite. Maybe it's two TV mothers that I love. Felicia Rashad, Claire Huxtable, I love her. Her TV mother completely. And the second TV mother, we're gonna get to her in a few soon, but She one of them.
You know, honestly, I didn't even think about TV moms. You know,
TV moms deserve more credit, son. TV moms deserve more credit, son.
They do though.
They should. I ain't gonna hold you, but like nobody. I don't feel like not a lot of people. I will say, really sit down and think about the how can I put it? Nobody really sits down and think about the impact that TV mothers, especially black TV mothers, have.
Yeah, definitely. And this next show, this TV mom is number 3 for me. Before they changed her, let's talk about Family Matters.
Oh yeah.
And I bet a lot of people did not know that it probably changed. We about to drop some facts to y'all right now. So let's talk about Family Matters. Family Matters, I have mixed feelings about Family Matters. You know, first and foremost, Family Matters. No, it's a reason why. I'm not later season though, but later season I did. But let's start with Family Matters. That one Family Matters was a spinoff too. Did y'all know that?
Yes,
we do.
I forgot what show that.
Perfect Stranger. It was Perfect Stranger.
Was that where Harry was in Perfect Strangers? I do remember that.
Yeah. It started with her because she was playing the elevator lady, and then later they brought Carl into the show. I think for like one episode, and they said they love Harry so much they turned her. They made the show out of it. They said they love Harry so much, and that way they did Family Matters. The thing about Family Matters, Family Matters was a good family show. But of course, Family Matters did not do good the first season.
I can believe.
Yeah, and just like what I believe with you, Rondo, you mentioned through the good times, with the chopping block, they brought in Steve Urkel, and he was supposed to be for one episode. He was for one episode only. Until that he came in that one episode, he became popular. They kept him from every season after that.
He became the pivotal part of the show, man.
He became the J.
Much.
The J.
Exactly. And I love Family Matters until they made Steve the main part of the show. And when I start disliking Family Matters, that's when I start disliking Family Matters.
I'm not gonna hold you though.
Yeah,
I felt like it's different because with Good Times, right? It was a problem when JJ was like the main focal point because there was so much going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With Family Matters, I'm sorry, but Steve made the show. If it wasn't for
I have to agree with Mr. Sands. Steve made the show.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. No.
What are you saying then?
What are we saying, Sands?
No, I'm saying like.
I'm saying repeat.
Yeah.
Oh, I said repeat it.
Yeah, I was saying if it wasn't for Steve, right? Family Matters would have got canceled in season 3.
No, I'm saying I know that, but I'm saying like I know. I mean, I'm happy that Steve saved the show, but when you start bringing in extra stuff like Myrtle Jackson, Myrtle Urkel, and Bruce Steve, and I mean Stefan. I didn't mind Stefan, but. When you start bringing more stuff that's more directed to Steve as a whole instead of the family, that when the show just started to get like, what? And later after that, Harry probably got tired of it and she left the show. She got tired because Steve wasn't getting too much attention. I do remember that. I do remember hearing that she got tired of the show after that. Just like John Amos basically,
or just like
Viv?
It's like Black Aunt Viv.
Black on Viv was a different. Oh yeah, with.
We gonna talk about that. That's next on the topic. We
gonna get there, bro. We
over there for that. We over there for that. The number one TV model. We get to that, but yeah, and we know out of every sitcom, black sitcoms, Family Matters had a lot of seasons as well, just like the Jeffersons. Family Matters was on for 9 seasons. Jeffersons was on for 11.
Well, I have to disagree with you, Ken, because basically Steve character, they brought a lot of creativity and they brought a lot of flavor into the show. You know, basically even from like the beginning with him having the episodes with him in class and stuff. It was very funny and very fun. When other people got screen time, it was okay, but his screen time was more. His screen time basically made us laugh and made us enjoy the show more with his catchphrases. Did I do that? You know, that's why when Sand said that he made the show, I agree with him. But then at the same time, they could have did a little bit more for the other characters. But
I agree. You already know how I feel about Judy. If you listen to the Premier Boys podcast, which is streaming on all available streaming sites, you already know how I feel about Judy. How you have her come upstairs and never come back? Just
never
like,
come down.
Like they treated her like Bobby Shmurda's hat. Like
basically. And then of course they had the storylines with Rachel having her place before it burned down and stuff, you know. Yeah. They actually tried to incorporate everybody around the show, even with Steve Urkel. But like his scenes were basically the funniest, and you know he would always do stuff and get in trouble. So that's why
because
I would watch it anytime.
Because they made him the star of the show. And like I said, I'm not mad that he became the star of the show because I like Fame Matters and stuff like that. I just mad because all the extra stuff on the show, they didn't.
Yeah, but look,
that's just my opinion. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion.
Look what other shows did the same thing. You know, you have Martin with like 5 characters as well. You know,
Jones.
That's different. That's different. Martin. That's different. That's different. Martin killed it though.
Oh, so you're saying that Steve didn't kill it as his alter ego characters? Stephon was
really.
I love Stephon episodes.
I love Stephon. I didn't say nothing bad about Stephon. I said except Stephon. I talked about everybody else.
Oh, you're talking about everybody but Stephon.
Yeah, I said except Stephon.
Because here it is. Stephon got more shine than any other Steve character was out there.
Yeah.
Right. But let's be with a buck. Nobody was checking for murderer.
Exactly. She was terrible, son. She was terrible, son. Like I hated Murder Urkel, son. I hated Murder Urkel. Why did Steve bring the character? I mean, it makes sense why, but
wasn't he also karate?
Yeah, Bruce Steve.
But even then, it wasn't like Martin because all of those characters played for like an episode or two, except for Murder Urkel. I don't know why they expanded on that, but
I bet Stephon stayed for a whole season. They had Stephon and Steve play at the same time. Son.
Stephon had his own character art. He had his own character. Stephon came along.
Yeah, she was torn between her. In the last season, she was torn between Stephon and Steve.
I'm sorry. She was in tournament until Steve had Myra. Shout out to Myra, first of all.
Michelle Thomas. Rest in peace to Michelle Thomas, man.
Who was also on the Cosby Show. Let's be clear.
Yeah, she was. Oh, she was. Yeah, she was in the Cosby Show. Right. She was in the Cosby Show. She definitely was in the Cosby Show. And as we know, the final season when Fame got canceled when they moved to CBS. Don't know why they did that. And they changed the Harriet to Gina's Moms. I don't know why they did that either.
I don't know Gina's Moms for that.
Yeah.
Yo, TV shows only do good until they change the formula. Because everybody noticed the change.
Or until you change the Black Moms. Trust. Like, that's, you know.
That's the second reason.
Never. I'm sorry.
And which leads to the next show, The Fresh Prince. Nice segue, right? Nice segue. So we got The Fresh Prince, man. We in the 90s now, by the way. We in the 90s. And The Fresh Prince. I
ain't gonna hold you. That show alone is making me think about copping a new pair of files, honestly. As I'm sitting here recording, I'm lacing up my Island Green files, as you'll see on Ram soon. But I'm lacing those up, and I'm thinking about, the style that was in there. It was like, take the Cosby Show, right, and evolve it a little bit, and you get the Fresh Prince. You talk about the struggle. You talking about a family, who got it all, but then, you're bringing in Will Smith as that aspect,
Yeah.
that takes away from that whole Sadiddy lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big props to Black Aunt Viv, because no matter where the show was taking it, she made it a point to keep it about the culture.
For real.
Yeah.
I agree.
She made it a point to keep it about the culture, and that's what made the show. That's what made the show hit for me. So when going back to switching moms, when they switched the moms and they kind of like steered away from that, you know what I'm saying? That didn't sit right with me,
I agree. Like I said, she's the number one TV mom for me. Biv, and yeah, Fresh Prince was another show. I love Fresh Prince, man. I leave Fresh Prince in one show now. I could watch all the time, if I want to. And
my thing is, I've watched all the episodes, and at one point, I was actually reciting it because they was always playing it on reruns on WB and all these other stations. So
yeah.
I actually got to the point where I knew all the episodes by heart.
You're not the only one, son. And one thing that I love one episode I love about Fresh Prince, man, when Will Smith got serious with his acting role got serious with his father left, And,
oh yeah, they always show that clip online. And
turns out that was a real life thing because Will's father really left in real life. So that role, he was really acting that role. And I found out that was like that real moment where Uncle Phil, hugged Real. That was like a real moment. And Uncle Phil was like told Real, like, yo, just be real, show your real emotion, and he did. And of course,
first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah. And dang, I lost my train of thought after that. Somebody pick it up. Somebody pick it up.
Well, no, like that scene was more important. That scene was probably, if not close, the one most singular important scene in black sitcoms in the 90s.
Yeah, I agree. There you go. I agree. Thank you. You said that right out my mouth. There you go. Yeah, it definitely was. But
the most important scene from start to finish. Everybody know what is, like, not everybody, because I don't know everybody's history, but in the black community, the lack of fatherhood, especially in the 90s, was a pivotal part. And for them to touch on that one scene made it the single most greatest scene in black sitcoms at that time. Because, when you see when you know the pain is real, the pain is real. Because he went through that shit in his real life. You know what I'm saying? So he knew where to change, he knew where to pull from, And the fact that who was it? Avery. Jason Avery, I believe.
Yeah, James Avery. James Avery. Yeah, James Avery.
The fact that he let Will be like, yo, be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that he let him let it fly made that scene all the more important. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
and
true,
I like Kareem too. He's a great actor. But fuck Will's fake dad on that show, man. Like,
and that's the thing, yo. Like, when I watched that thing, and the dude that played Will's father on the show, he's a good actor. I hated him too after that scene too. Like, yo, why you did that to Will, son? Like,
one thing about Monique and Precious, like, I love Monique. She's funny as shit. But I hated her in Precious, bro. Like, with a passion.
Right.
Like I said, when you're a good actor when they hate you in real life, son. That's when they hate you in real life. That way you know you're a good actor. But
the role bring it out you though.
Exactly.
But like with me, the Fresh Prince is definitely a good show. It was definitely a good thing, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But I'm gonna ask you a question. I want to make sure if I'm right on that. Was Will Smith the first rapper that turned to actor? I want to make sure. I want to make sure if I'm right or not.
No.
I had a feeling. It was. It probably was.
It's Ice-T.
Ice-T. Okay, it was Ice-T. Okay, it was Ice-T. Okay.
It wasn't in Law and Order. It wasn't Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
I might that because it might have been something earlier than that, but to my knowledge, Ice-T, first rapper / actor.
I mean, cause it could be one of it could be IT, could be IQ, it could be Will Smith. It's one of three. If y'all know the answer, hit me up. next show we got Martin, the biggest comedy in the '90s.
I'm sorry, for me, that was like the greatest sitcom of all time. Sorry, hands down, greatest sitcom of all time. Except for one season, I could watch if they put Martin on Netflix right now. I could watch all the seasons, except for maybe half of the last season.
Right.
I know it was very, very uncomfortable. I get it. And it was noticeable that it was uncomfortable the last season too. And I don't know. The best sitcom. I wouldn't say the best sitcom. The best comedy sitcom, I would say yes. I would agree to that. That I would say agree to that. That was one of the biggest comedy sitcoms of all time. I could probably say that of all time. I agree with that. That's why I agree.
Why I say that because around that time you didn't really have anybody else, right, doing like 5 or 6 characters at the same time.
Other than Steve.
You know what I'm saying? They looked at a serious comedy sitcom, you know?
Yeah.
I don't look at Martin on the same level I look at Family Matters. You know what I'm saying?
Neither.
But when you have Martin characters just like that, you didn't see that shit before in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty innovative for its time. And then you had Eddie Murphy come out and do Nutty Professor.
Oh yeah, right.
Seeing like people do different things, but Martin started that shit.
He agreed. Yeah, I agree.
Martin was a trailblazer in so many ways with his show. Like the chemistry of the cast members was so great. Like we really can't revive it because there's no Tommy. I really can't see somebody filling that role. You know.
The thing with that is it portrays the show had so much style, like like I never seen nobody rock Jay like except for the man Jordan himself and Will Smith. Like Martin, he always kept his style on point. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I see that, I'm like, yo, I want to get fresh like that too. They had Biggie on the show.
Yeah, Biggie, yeah, he did.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan start on the show. Yeah, that's true.
What
about the pastor? What was his name? David Allen Greer? No, he wasn't. That was in his first show.
Living Color, which was on the same night, by the way. Which was on the same night.
Can we
started in Living Color?
Can we talk about the fact that along with like Living Single in New York Undercover, Fox was killing it on Wednesday night with black shows?
He did, yeah, true. It was.
We should admit.
Yeah, that's true. He was. It was. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday night. It was Wednesday and Thursday.
It's probably Thursday night.
Thursday, because I remember because they were up against NBC. They're up against NBC on Thursday. Because remember, they keep comparing Friends with Living Single, which, by the way, Living Single is next. Good segue. But yeah, how y'all feel about Living Single?
Living Single was Friends before Friends became Friends. People keep giving Friends as the best sitcom of all time. So to that I say, I'm like, all right, cool. So if Friends is the best sitcom of all time, where's Living Single putting that? Because that's where it was based. You know? Yeah. Instead of just 5 single black people in Brooklyn, you got 6 single white people in New York where there's no black people in New York. How do you do that? You know?
Yeah.
Where do you do that at? Living Single gave us the real in the view of women, you know? It showed it really like set the stage for womanhood in comedy shows.
And if you think about it, I didn't think about this now until recently. You living single, you and I, without living single, we have shows like Girlfriends now, or Insecure, and even Sex and the City. You know, one of them was white.
Yeah.
Who started that? You know.
So Living Single actually did pave the way for certain shows as well.
Yeah.
Big up to Queen Latifah, man.
Definitely Queen Latifah. And I heard Queen Latifah is thinking about bringing that back. You know, as you thinking about bringing that back. So I think with all the cast, even
it will definitely use, and especially in this climate.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if this could get views, you could bring back Living Single and then kill it.
I agree. And my bad to backtrack, but did y'all know that they reboot Fresh Prince with the Bel-Air show, which will be a HBO Max next year? Just want to drop that little facts, just in case y'all didn't know about that.
Well, I know we discussed that also on the podcast.
And I ain't talking about us. I'm talking about the viewers, the listeners. The listeners.
Definitely gotta check that shit out.
Yeah, definitely gotta check it out. Yeah, I am gonna check that out as well. but you know, also in the '90s, we got channels like WB and UPN picking up black sitcoms, you know. And on WB they dropped a sitcom called The Wayne Brothers, the first black sitcom on WB. How y'all feel about Wayne Brothers?
I like the Wayne Brothers for the most part. I mean, you gotta think about it like this, right? The '90s was probably the most prevalent time for black sitcoms ever, you know, with so many that's out. There's so many that probably can't even get to, you know. But with everything in there, the Wayans Brothers was like the right show. But being the fact that it was drowned in so much competition, people didn't even really. I feel like people looked at it, but I feel like it's underrated. You know, I feel like Wayans show's underrated, and the fact that they didn't get a final episode like that is kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, you got canceled, right? It never got a proper finale. But I hate when that happened to shows. You know, especially a lot of black sitcoms did not get a proper finale. I mean, for me, Wayans Brothers, it was funny. You know, Jarvis Spoon, man, legend, man. You know, yeah, it was funny, man. What about you, Roddy?
I love the Wayans Brothers. Anytime I could find it, I'd watch it, and I don't even care what episode is on. I just love the vibe of it, you know. It was always funny, and then Marlon's acting a fool. I used to always make fun of TC and what was the big dude name?
Forgot his name. I can't think of his name at the moment.
Definitely played it in Lean on Me as Gucci Man. Gucci Man.
And White Mike. And then of course D was like a big pivotal of the show. And but they had Paula J. Parker on there, but I don't know. She wasn't on there for that long. They wasn't feeling her for the part.
They also had Lear Rashawn on there too.
Who?
The baddie of the '90s, Lear Rashawn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she wasn't on there long though. Paula J. Parker.
But you know, also on WB, we had many other shows. We can't get to it because you know we had the Jamie Foxx show, we had Sister, we had Smart Guy, we have Mr. Sand's favorite show, Parenthood,
shit.
and we had Steve Harvey show, which I wanna dive to Steve Harvey show a little bit, not too much, because I got a question to ask y'all. Have y'all seen Hang with Mr. Cooper back in the '90s?
A little bit.
I did a little bit too.
Bro.
Yeah, because recently I was watching an interview with Mark Curry from Hang with Mr. Cooper, and he said an instant story about, you know, he said him and Steve Harvey were good friends in the '90s and stuff like that. You know, Mark Curry came on his show Hang with Mr. Cooper he was hit on ABC. A couple years later, Steve Harvey came on the show with the Steve Harvey show, and people say that Steve Harvey took his whole concert and added to his show. Do y'all think that was true?
I ain't gonna hold you. I would believe it though if it came out, because here it is. You got Mark Curry, substitute teacher, trying to steer the kids the right way, and also dealing with and also in a sense dealing with people from school faculty. Flip to Steve Harvey, substitute teacher in the inner school, trying to make sure these kids get right, while you also try to bag the principal and got a friend. So I'm sorry, I call thievery. Somebody need to call the cops. Mark Curry need to call.
Here's the thing though, cause I didn't think about that in the '90s, but when I watched the interview recently and I watched both shows recently, I'm like, oh snap! Wow, he really did the idea. That's crazy, son. Like, I never noticed it until like recently.
Oh wow. Yeah,
and then that's crazy. I just wanted to bring that little stack, but let's dive into UPN real quick. And the first hit show on UPN was Moesha. Mo to the E to the. I can do that. But how you feel about Moesha? How you feel about Moesha?
Moesha was. Oh.
No, Roddy, go ahead.
I said Moesha was cool, but it was more for me. Honestly, it was more aimed to the females. Like, I personally was just watching it to watch it. I wasn't like enjoying it until like the later seasons when like more Dorian started coming and the show started to shift. Yeah, it's just me from my point of view though. Like it was an okay show though.
Now, I could agree. When Ray J became a main cast member, the show got really a lot more interesting. Also with Frank's storyline. Yeah, it was a lot more interesting. I was like, yo, it was funny, son. What about you, Sans?
Well, with Moesha, right? I mean, it was a dope show to reach out for a young teenage in the '90s. I just felt like herself was kind of trash because the way she was moving,
Yeah. Facts.
Series on I watched the series on Netflix when it first dropped, and I'm like, all right, so far so good. And as the show went on, it just became more trash. Like, why would Moesha? He was a nice guy. Why you break him off a little bit? I feel like that was kind of trash. There's a lot of trash actions. Joyce played Kim, who was a baddie on the show.
Yeah.
Not like Kim wasn't a baddie, but I mean, it was trash. The father was corny as fuck. I'm sorry.
Wow, bro.
Oh man.
It's like the guy that will tell the corny jokes at a work party. On it. So, but other than that, the show was dope. I hate that they got rid of the mother halfway through the last season.
Yeah. D left the show last season. Like partly, like she was like in and out last season. Like
she said in the interview she didn't like the direction after that thing happened with Frank. So it was like,
oh yeah, right. Cause Frank, remember, like Frank was supposed to be the TV father, like the TV father everybody would look up to, until he did that affair situation, that affair storyline. Yeah, and that show into a really dark turn, son. That show to a really dark turn. I'm not gonna lie.
Ryder, let me ask you.
It is. I know it is though. It is real life though. Yeah.
Let me ask these writers, why the hell do y'all change up these formulas like towards the end? Like, you had a good thing going, just evolve on what you had.
Yo, Roddy, one word: ratings. That's why ratings. They wanna turn the show around.
At that point they're experimenting. They're not throwing it for ratings. They're experimenting about throwing certain storylines in.
It's true, experiment
and changing up the outlook on the characters.
Yeah, because apparently during the last season, the ratings went down. So they tried to throw storylines Yeah, they went to a different direction. You're right about that.
Oh, they were trying to save it. They were trying to keep it afloat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, definitely with Moesha.
So that's what I was doing at.
How do you that for me? That kind of made the show a little more interesting.
Me too.
Oh,
me too. Actually, I actually liked it. The dark turn. You know, me, Sharice, my sister. Every time we talk about Moesha, the 5th and 6th season was always as the darker season basically.
Like that's what
it got more interesting. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when shit got spicy. You can't avoid that, you know?
Exactly. And plus, like you said, it's a part of life and a part of growing up because you go through stuff like that in life. The fact that they want to bring that into TV, just to say that not all family is all perfect. Like Black-ish, they had an episode, and they dive in the future real quick. They had an episode of Dre and Rainbow almost getting into a big fight, and they almost got a divorce. And
I remember that.
And that family was a perfect image of family. But if you think about it, it's about they going through hard times and they managed to make it work. Just like Frank managed to make it work at the end. He managed to make it work with Dorian. He managed to make it work with Dee after that. He managed to make it work with the family, even after the hard time. You know.
Look, man, like here's the thing. When it comes down to it, right? You know, you're gonna encounter like shit like that in these TV shows because you gotta make, not only for ratings, you gotta make that shit relatable. If people ain't related to that shit, nobody's gonna watch it because they're not gonna feel that, you know? You need something that people can feel.
I agree. And one thing I hate about Moesha is that they ended it on a cliffhanger and never got renewed after that. They canceled it.
Bro, Miles dead, bro. I'm sorry. I regret it and I spoke about this on the Premier Boys podcast, streaming on all streaming platforms. Bro, Miles dead. You're talking about a kid getting kidnapped in LA in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, because it was 2000 when it ended. Actually, it was on 2000. Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
oh man!
But I do hear right now that Brandy and all the cast is in talk of a revival. So
how you gonna do that without Hakeem?
And Endell,
and pretty much half the cast, like yeah. I mean, well then again, Endell went to Parker's, which we're about to get to now, because due to Brandy and Catelyn's bond, they had beef during like the last season Carly Bond was in. She left the show for 2 reasons. I guess she wanted to go on her own, and she got pregnant on set of Moesha, and I heard that became a big thing. And then later she started doing Parker's, which, to be honest, I watched Parker's, but I was not too much of a big fan of Parker's like that.
Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. Yeah. I'm just now getting into Parker's because it's on Netflix.
Oh
wow, bros. I could totally disagree with both of you. I was into the Parker's. I enjoyed it. It was a vibe for me.
Like, I mean, I know what happens because people would tell me, "Yo, Ron, this is what happened on the Parkers," and I probably wouldn't care.
Oh, during the time?
Yeah, and I probably didn't care. But like, I can look at it now. Like, it's on Netflix, and shout out to Netflix for basically bringing back UPN.
Basically, UPN and one show two shows for WB. Yeah,
I know eventually they're gonna get everybody else from WB.
I should. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I should. Yeah, they should. Continue.
Yeah, like you gotta give a big shout to Netflix on that, because now you're either visiting for the first time or revisiting,
as you're older,
that we grew up on at our own pace.
Agree.
So that's a big thing.
And what also was brought to Netflix was 101. And how y'all feel about 101?
What about you, Roddy? I like the 101. I'm not gonna lie. I like the 101. The only thing I didn't like is when they went to Malibu and they started shooting. They started showing the Malibu episodes. I hated that. I just couldn't get into those episodes, those seasons.
I was a fan of 101. I liked the 101. I had a big crush on Kelly Pratt. When I was younger. We the same age. We the same age. So yeah, even around then. But I like the 101. I agree with Roddy. When they got to the 5th season, I guess the college season, the Malibu season, I was not feeling it either. Like you said about same thing with Moesha, it took a different turn. In this case, it took a really wrong turn, in my opinion. But crazy enough, 101 was not supposed to get canceled though, like at all.
Really?
No, I'm about to explain the reason. So apparently, y'all remember the show All of Us? All of Us.
Yeah.
So apparently, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, they ran the show All of Us, and they wanted to add it to the UPN roster. So I don't know how they managed to take off 101, but they took 101 off and added that in, and that's why 101 got canceled. Basically.
Well,
now All of Us ain't around too, so
I'm glad because that show was terrible. Anyway, I didn't like All of Us like that.
All of Us needed something more to me. I didn't say it was terrible, but it just didn't hit.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like it wasn't Wayne's Brothers, but it was alright. It was like 1-on-1.
1-on-1 was successful, son.
Y'all really gonna make me do it?
No, he don't do it, son. He gonna bet. He don't do it. He don't do it, son.
Nah. Like we not going.
How much seasons did All of Us have? Like 1 or 2?
What? They had like 5-6 seasons.
No. They had 4. It was 4.
They had 4. Sure.
Give or take.
It was 4. It was definitely 4. I remember that. I don't know how they.
All of Us legacy, like that's crazy.
like, do you remember how they ended? I think I remember. I'm not sure. I think I remember how they ended. I think the rain went back to Lisa Ray. I think that's how they ended, right? If I'm right?
I believe so. I gotta look again, but I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's how. I'm not sure. I watch every UPN and WB show, but All of Us just wasn't my favorite. I didn't say that. I'm not gonna bash the show. It wasn't my favorite.
Shit.
But so let's talk about so we're in the 2000 now. So we had some funny family shows. These 2 shows was on different networks, but they are both family related. We got My Wife and Kids and the Bernie Mac Show. How y'all feel about that? One show was on ABC, another show was on Fox.
Wait, say the shows again.
My Wife and Kids on ABC with Damon Wayne show, and then we have the Bernie Mac Show on Fox.
I feel like they could have expanded more on My Wife and Kids than Bernie Mac Show. Bernie Mac is a funny comedian, one of the kings of comedy.
Of course.
The show, it was alright, nothing too crazy. Fun fact: I met the older daughter.
Oh wow!
Really? So she's actually a nice person. A little bit of a baddie, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like they need to expand on My Wife and Kids a little bit more, than Bernie Mac Show. However, is it me or is it like Tisha Campbell like a bad omen to black sitcoms?
Explain that reason.
Yeah.
All right, I got y'all. Let's be quick. Martin, right? Shit was going well, and then he leaves the show, and shit gets weird and forced. Cancels in season 5.
Yeah.
All of Us. She was on All of Us too. That's Martin's ex-wife.
Oh, right.
That show gets canceled in season 4.
Oh wow.
If in Kids, dope show. Really good.
Was
They
successful,
started
really
making it
successful.
Yeah. Started making it more about Tisha Campbell. Show gets canceled.
Yeah, that show did got canceled in season 5.
Coincidence? I think not.
I mean, but if you think about people whose show getting canceled, you gotta talk about Brandy too. Like Moesha, 6th season, canceled. The Game, even though the Game was 9th season, but that got canceled still. Her season she was on season 8. I don't think she came back for season 9.
But here's the thing with that though.
Hold on, there's more. 101, Brandy got added to the show on season 5. That got canceled. Kind of the same thing.
But here's the thing. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. None of those things was directly related to Brandy.
Yeah.
All those shows was directly related to her.
I mean, but I'm trying to figure out what happened with her. But what happened with her and
What's up, D-boy?
what happened with her and My Wife and Kids though? Like exactly. Like how? Like what was her reason for My Wife and Kids?
I feel like this, and this is just me. Towards the end of the season, they started putting it more towards her, right?
Well, yeah,
and they were talking about how she was showing up late to the filming, you know. And I'm like, bro, for me personally, half of doing the job is showing up.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which means showing up late don't count either. You know? Mm-hmm. So that's something that you really got to sit down and consider.
And if you want to, my bad. So if you want to go dive deeper, she was on a show called Dr. Ken, and that got canceled too. So you might be right.
I think not. I forgot about Dr. Ken. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, for poor Ken John, man. Poor Ken John, man.
Poor Ken John. He's on Max Singer now. Yeah,
I know. I'm joking, but yeah.
Good.
But yeah. Not to mention Everybody Hate Chris too. She was on that show too.
You know what? You're right.
And then that show ended. But we're gonna talk about Everybody Hate Chris too soon, actually. But yeah, actually next. But after we'll definitely do something with Quail. But Trisha Campbell. But yeah, I agree with you. Actually,
My Wife and Kids.
I see what
My Wife and Kids was a good show. Like, of course, they quickly changed
Claire.
They quickly changed her,
for the better. Because first Claire was terrible. To say that.
I can see that. That's the only part where I can see a change was there that made it better.
I agree, yo.
And it made Jennifer Freeman career basically. And then of course, like, she had Tony come in the order season. Tony was such a weirdo.
No, I ain't gonna front. The characters that they have for the show though were hilarious, man. I'm not gonna front. They like
Tony
was just hilarious, man. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, and then Franklin, right?
Franklin, yeah, yo.
And then the guy who was Junior girlfriend father. He was hilarious too.
Yeah, and don't forget they changed Junior baby mothers too. Like originally,
because Megan Good was on it.
Megan Good effort, but because she can't do it like a full-time role, she switched her to the other girl. Right? Yeah, to the other girl. Which was a what happened?
I feel like that turned me off though because I got attached to Megan Good. You know,
Megan Good.
But I saw a video somewhere that they actually started dating the new Junior baby mama and him started to date outside the set too.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw that on one of these videos that they actually did start to date for a little bit. So like sometimes these on-screen romances do turn into like full-blown relationships outside the scene, you know.
A lot of on-screen romance. Remind you, like the Martin situation, right? Going back to Trisha Campbell. I get Martin fell in love with Trisha Campbell, and apparently, Martin got jealous because she started dating Dwayne Martin at the time, and that when all that happened with that whole situation for Martin.
Right. But at one point, them two were actually off the set.
Yeah.
Actually, were they?
There was.
Y'all want to know a fact about that? Anyway,
Yeah.
I might have dated her cousin.
What?
I just remembered. I might have. Low key, and I didn't even realize it until like just now, as I'm thinking about it.
Oh wow, son.
Bro, where your girl at? Shoot. Watching not kicking your butt.
Well,
Anyway, let's not make this uncomfortable.
We could definitely get into to the next show, which is Everybody Hates Chris.
Let's finish off on Brady Mac real quick. So Brady Mac was successful too, and Brady Mac was supposed to have another season, but sadly around that time he started getting sick around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to end his Brady Mac show. Recipe to Brady Mac. So so the last 3 shows for the 2000s was probably the last 3 shows on CW. Which was Girlfriends, which was on UPN, which they put on CW. The Game, which is a spinoff for Girlfriends, in case y'all didn't know. Girlfriends. The Game was a spinoff from Girlfriends, and it's probably one of the successful show in the 2000s. Everybody Hate Chris. How y'all feel about those last 3?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's like all 3 of those shows had a tough act to follow when you talking about the greatness of 90s sitcoms,
I was about 2000, not 90. I was about this.
I know you're talking about 2000s.
Yeah. Okay.
They had a tough act to follow.
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
Because all of those shows was good in their own right. Girlfriends, Game. I just got finished watching Girlfriends on Netflix. The whole shit, and it was a great show. But I felt like if we're comparing, then no, it's not in the comparison. It's not even in that comparison. The Game included. Everybody Hates Chris definitely included.
Everybody Hates Chris too. Different show. Ooh. Yeah,
and I ain't gonna hold you. Everybody Hates Chris definitely had a 90s vibe.
Yeah, it did. And it took place. I get what I'm trying to say. It took place. It had a 90s vibe, but yeah, it took place in the 80s, but it had a 90s vibe. I get what Rondo's saying.
Of course.
You could put that sitcom in the middle of 98 and it would have hit.
I agree. And the thing about those shows, doing those shows, when they moved CW with the new network, that when UPN and WB they took it off the market because they was upset that Black was making their channel successful. That don't make no sense, but yeah. So they moved those 3 shows into CW, and they expected to do bad, even though Girlfriend became the longest rated show on CW at the time. Even though it didn't get a proper finale, the Game got canceled. It was very underrated at that time, and they tried to cancel Everybody Chris, which I don't know why, because Everybody Chris became the highest rated show on CW. The highest rated show on CW. They tried to cancel it, but Chris Rock was like, nope, I'm gonna just end it on a perfect note before y'all try to cancel my show.
And that's probably the smartest thing he could have done, because I told you, if you're talking about a show that's about Chris Rock, right? We kind of already know how it ends because the show's still being played. So when you see that, and if you listen to his comedy stand up, after high school he
became a comedian. Yeah.
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly, but
he worked at Red Lobster first. Then became a comedian, but then he dropped out. So you look at the last scene of Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
And when he opens the letter, and he's like, what it says. I can honestly see his mom saying, you failed the test. You can't even graduate fucking high school. And then everybody hates Chris.
in reality, yeah, I know.
Yo, I got a fun fact for Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
So, Tashina Arnold, I've noticed this. I found this on YouTube surfing one day. She actually wanted to make the whole theme song. You know how they say Everybody Hates Chris? It's supposed to be a whole entire song, not just a little clip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but when she submitted it, they only took that one part and just put it. So, like, that would have originally have been the theme song if they had enjoyed it more, and it was a whole entire song.
Oh, wow. So that would have been, like, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That would have been dope. Now, that would have been dope.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'll find a video and share it with y'all, but there's actually a clip of the entire Everybody Hates Chris with Tashina Arnold and the two other girls that you hear on it.
Oh, nice. Well, you ain't know, if CW wouldn't try to cancel everybody quick, Chris probably would have been through going on. Because Chris Rock got a lot more stories.
That's definitely a fact, and it probably, I wouldn't say it's still going on today, but yeah, it could have definitely went on for like another 4 or 5 seasons.
What?
Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but yeah. So now we got the present, and we know which is Black-ish and Tyler Perry shows. Like Meet the Browns when it was on the air, House of Pain, stuff like that. How y'all feel about that?
Black-ish is, I always felt like with Black-ish, it's kind of like the evolved format of the Fresh Prince, which is the evolved format of the Cosby Show, the evolved format of Good Times. I always tell people, you got to start from somewhere to understand where you are. With Black-ish, right? It's basically similar standing. It's a similar standing with your family shows, but you take into account today's climate. You still have a lot of race issues. You got the advent of social media. The fact that the show is actually successful enough to do 2 spinoffs, tells you a lot. That shit is a powerhouse in itself. Shout out to King and Barris and the writers for the show.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Facts. I agree with that, man.
And fun fact, he about to make another spinoff now with the parents, with the Dre parents couple.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Otis?
Yeah, the Otis, yeah. Yep, Otis.
So next thing you know, they're gonna find something for Jack and Diane.
Probably not. I mean, I don't think they probably don't need one.
They could kind of kill it with Black-ish.
Yeah,
exactly.
The way that she's growing up. She does a lot, but the one that played Diane, but yeah,
she is. Yeah,
but I like Black-ish. It's okay. I just it's kind of funny to watch. It's kind of a good show.
I mean, I enjoy Black-ish as well. It's a different type of sitcom than we had back in the day. But I mean, clearly it's successful because it has 7 seasons now with 2 spinoffs and a potential 3rd one. So, yeah. So, what about House of Pain? How do you feel about House of Pain?
I'm liking I like the first original House of Pain. The second one, it's hit and miss for me. But Tyler Perry, what he's doing now with his comedies is it's good. It's a good show. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm not really feeling assisted living like that. I already discussed with you guys. I'm just it doesn't hit for me. I feel like House of Pain is literally carrying his whole comedy department.
I agree. I always enjoy House of Pain. Even though the revival that he brought back is kind of slow, but I still enjoy it. Sister, I'm not even gonna get into Meet the Browns and Sister Lippin because clearly they're both the spell for each other. So I'm not even gonna get into that. Yeah. What about you, Roddy?
Always been a fan of House of Pain. Always rocking with House of Pain. Even though, just like you said, it's slow. I gave it a chance, and I'm still going to keep up with it. I've dropped Assisted Living altogether. I just can't get into it, man. I mean, even when you bring Brown and Cora, it just doesn't really spice it up the way it's supposed to. So basically, House of Pain is like the only sitcom that's really hitting out of the Tyler Perry studios for sitcoms.
Alright, so before we go, we're gonna play a little game, y'all. We're gonna play a little game called keep in the VCR. Since this is the old school show, keep in the VCR or throw it away. So I'm gonna name a show. I'm gonna name a show that's on this list, and y'all tell me that y'all keep in the VCR or throw it away. Are y'all ready? I answer this for myself as well. I'm answering for myself as well. Are you ready? All right, let's throw it. The Parenthood.
Keep it.
Keep it. All right, sister.
Toss that shit.
Toss it, not for me.
I'm gonna give it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it. I don't know because that show is hit and miss. I always like the sister, but at the same time, it's like I mean, yeah. Smart guy.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it. Kenan and Kel.
Put it on DVD.
Keep it.
I definitely keep it Kenan and Kel. 227.
All right, you might. I don't want to keep it, but I don't want to throw it out. So just leave it hanging out the VCR real quick.
All right, so let's say I don't know. The middle one is I don't know. What about you, Roddy?
Toss it because it wasn't a big thing for me. I wasn't a big fan for this one.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan either, so I'm gonna throw it away as well. All of us.
Keep it. Matter of fact, put that on Netflix if it's not there already.
Toss it for me.
Yeah, we already spoke about all of us already. I'm gonna toss it.
I bet y'all gonna pick up one-on-one like this.
Stupid. The Hooglies.
Wait, what?
The Hooglies. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, y'all don't remember the Hooglies show?
Yeah,
that's why I said toss it.
Yeah, toss it that well. Out of Order King of Comedy, he was the worst. He was the worst sitcom out of Order King of Comedy, in my opinion.
He was.
He was the Entertainer's own show, which got canceled because of 9/11.
Oh yeah,
was better than.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. Cousin Skeeter.
Put it on Netflix.
Keep it.
Keep it. Definitely keep it. That's one show that I've been wanting to see again for a very, very long time. Let's see if y'all remember this. Homeboy from Outer Space.
Oh, toss that.
Homeboys from Outer Space. What the fuzz?
Put that where you put Malcolm.
Y'all don't remember that? You don't remember that? Oh, that also I'm toasting that too. Speaking by the way.
Awesome.
I agree with you on that. The Marlon Show.
You can toss that.
Yeah, I was feeling that. The Carmichael Show.
You could keep it.
Keep it.
I agree, keep it. I want to dive into the Carmichael Show real quick. I'm mad that NBC canceled it because he wanted to he wanted to speak realness on it. I feel like somebody should have picked that show up. I'm sorry. That should have never got canceled at all.
I feel like Netflix should have picked it up, honestly.
I agree. Netflix or Hulu. I would still Hulu at least.
Yeah.
I would definitely still Hulu. The Sinbad Show.
Basura. Oh, that's Spanish for toss it.
I used to watch the Sinbad Show a lot as a kid. I would probably say I'm gonna say I don't know for that one. All right, what about you, Roddy?
I said toss it.
Toss it. All right, and last but not least, Eve.
I don't know. It was alright.
Eve wasn't for me. Toss it.
It was alright though. I might say keep it.
I know for me, I probably would toss Eve. I don't know. Eve was okay, but I guess something was. I guess one of the shows something was missing. You know.
I'll keep like the first couple of seasons. I will say that.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
How many seasons was Eve?
I think 3. I think it was 3.
I thought it was 4.
3 or 4. I don't remember. I think it probably was 4.
But I would say keep the first 2 seasons.
I probably no. I'm gonna change my. I'm gonna change the. I don't know. I'm gonna say.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. Fun fact about Eve: the show got canceled because she kept showing up late. You know.
Yo, these people got to stop coming in late.
I know a few people that need to stop coming in late.
Oh, dude.
Oh man. All right, so I got two final questions. All right, who was the dumbest sitcom character in your opinion?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Waldo.
I was just gonna say Waldo as well, bro.
I probably think this is the first time tonight. I think that we all agree on the same thing.
Like by far the dumbest character I've seen.
He was the dumbest
on any sitcom.
Yeah, he was.
Not just on black sitcoms, but white ones as well. He just, once again, is black excellence. He just surpassed the bar. He just surpassed the bar in dumbness.
Yeah, I agree.
Love it.
And last.
But what I want to understand real fast is how come in most of these black comedies they always had that one dumb character?
So I don't know. I did not know.
I'll tell you like this: comic relief.
Yeah.
Comic relief. You gotta have a dumb person in the crew. Even in white sitcoms, they had that one dumb guy. Look at That 70s Show. Kelso was the dumbest guy on the show.
He was.
Everybody knew it.
Yeah, he was. Though.
He wasn't dumber than Waldo, but he was pretty dumb.
He was up there. Kelso was up there.
He's the top 5 of dumb characters. You know what I'm saying? So I would I would say like not just in black sitcoms, but white sitcoms, Waldo takes the cake.
Yeah. All right, and the last one, who was the most dominant TV father?
That's easy, bro. Like you asked a softball question. That's James Evans. That's the father we need now.
I agree, James Evans. You
know, because he ain't afraid to sit there and beat somebody's ass. He'll beat your kid's ass if he think they ain't acting right.
I agree.
That's impact.
Or give them that stank look.
I agree.
That was before the ass whipping.
Fact.
That was real corny.
Yeah, but in fact, Mr. Sand, thank you for coming on the show, the first episode of the Old School Show, and the Retro. Thank you for being the co-host of the Old School Show. Thank you for tuning into this.
Everything old school.
Over to the Old School.
You already know. You can see me be a little bit less unbuttoned up and a little less stuffy on the Premier Boys podcast. You already know. Check that out on all your streaming platforms. You can follow me at Aaron Sands Premier. That's AARONSANDSPREMIERE.
Alright. I'm DJ Retro. Drop your social media, son.
Alright, you can find me on my Instagram at Roddy RODDY _DJ Retro.
Okay, nice. All right, thank y'all, and we'll be right back.
You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 3. Cheers!